Welcome to NYNJPA Weather. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Well, it looks like we have a lot to talk about today, just like yesterday, and it looks like I was correct about the potential for a major winter storm. A little bit more than what I thought, but still, it's there. So let's take a look at this setup. Before I start, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I normally don't forecast on Christmas, but considering the situation, I thought that forecasting would be warranted. But I will be taking the rest of the afternoon off until this evening, where I will be doing a live radio show for Tri-State Weather, which you can find a link on the front page of my website. So let's take a look at this forecast. At this point, models really don't matter all that much to me. The reason why is because, well, the storm's right in front of us. Remember what I said a few days ago? We had to keep an eye on 1, 2, and 3 disturbances. Well, 1 did not get crushed. It is alive and well, and it is very powerful over Louisiana, producing strong to severe thunderstorms, very heavy rain, and it's starting to produce some snow in the Tennessee River Valley. We have disturbance number 2 diving towards disturbance number 1, getting ready to phase. And you can see the influence of that phase starting to push the heights up along the East Coast, and we're starting to see more of a neutral to negative tilt to the trough rather than a neutral to positive tilt to the trough. And that is very, very important because that means that an area low pressure that is currently around the mouth of Louisiana and around New Orleans is going to move northeast towards the southeast coast, not east northeast towards the Georgia and South Carolina coast. Huge difference in the way that the storm would track. And of course, we have disturbance number 3, our Arctic disturbance, our key disturbance to allow this storm to move up the coast, really bomb out, and really produce a significant snowfall for the region. That disturbance is already in Minnesota and dropping south, and that disturbance is going to cause the trough to tilt negative and stall and cause a lot of heavy snow. Let's take a look at the water vapor. So here we have our surface low around the mouth of the Mississippi over here. And this low pressure system is going to merge with the disturbance that is currently over Arkansas and Mississippi and phase and produce a strong low pressure system. Now, these two disturbances by themselves would produce a rather impressive snowstorm. But the only problem is that it would move more east-northeast than northeast or north. And as a result, well, New York City and New Jersey and Pennsylvania would not have gotten as impressive a snowfall as what I think we're going to see. But our Arctic disturbance, well, that's already diving south. And it's right on pace to be right on time to cause this trough, this whole long wave trough, to tilt negative and pull this storm back towards the coast. And as a result, you can see the storm track I'm expecting. It cuts up towards the New Jersey coastal waters, actually stalls out a little bit, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours according to the latest guidance. I think that the guidance is reasonable only because of the way that this disturbance is diving south. At the speed in which it is doing so, it will be able to phase with these other 2 disturbances. And as a result, you should be able to get a powerful upper level low, and eventually the storm becomes vertically stacked. So when that happens, it's going to take care of a lot of interesting features, which I'll show in just a second, that will enhance the snowfall, especially on the coast, and any potential for rain mixing with the snow will start to rapidly decrease and leave, producing an all-snow event for the entire northern mid-Atlantic. Now, I waited for the 12Z GFS to make this movie only because I wanted to see whether it was going to pull off what I normally expect the model guys to produce in a very intense snowstorm. And that's some convective feedback. No, this does not mean the GFS thinks that over 2.5 inches of liquid water, which would average somewhere around 25 to 30 inches of snow, is going to sit over Monmouth and Ocean County. Well, at least not potentially. Now, the reason why this is showing this is because what's happening is that the model is trying to pick up convective feedback. It's trying to pick up the banding that's going to develop with this low pressure system. And so as a result, there's going to be pockets that are going to be over 2 feet of snow, and other pockets will be lucky to get 8 inches of snow because that's the way convective banding works. One area gets bombed and the other area sees next to nothing. In fact, the precipitation dries up because the strong rising and sinking motion in the atmosphere. I will discuss this in great detail in the radio show tonight and in the premium severe winter weather discussion coming out in about 2 p.m. So here's our snow map, and basically I'm going to go from the coast back to the interior. Now along the coast I have 10 to 15 inches of snow. The reason why I'm not going to 2 feet or 2 feet plus in these areas, basically along the immediate New Jersey coast and the southern side of Long Island, is that these locations are going to be very close to what we call the coastal front. And normally what happens with the coastal front is that you get temperatures rising from, say, about 26 degrees in Freehold in the central Monmouth County. And by the time you get to Belmar, which is right along the coast, temperatures are around 36, 37. Well, that gradient is what creates very intense banding, but it also creates some issues with some precipitation types along the immediate coast. So I would not be surprised if we see some sleet and some rain mix in at times. So I'm suppressing the snowfall totals just a little bit in these locations. A little bit further inland, and especially for New York City, I'm looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 feet. Now I'm highlighting this area where I think that this is where the best banding is going to set up, and that's why I think this is where the heaviest snow will transpire. This low pressure system will bomb out at just the right time off the New Jersey coast based on the way that these disturbances are moving, and also, let's face it, the latest model guidance. And when that happens, the thermal gradient at 850 millibars and 700 millibars is going to tighten, and when that tightens, it's going to produce very intense banding Sunday night into Monday morning. As a result, I would not be surprised to see snowfall rates anywhere from 1 to 2 inches or higher per hour. So that's why we also put the plus, because there will be some locations that, in an extreme case, may have a band that sits off of them over them for an extended period of time. There is that potential. I'm not sure exactly where, but there is that potential. Further west, towards Philadelphia and over much of eastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey, because there's so much intense lifting and banding over central New Jersey and the New York City Metro and the Hudson Valley, locations to the west are going to have the influence of more sinking air, and more sinking air is going to transpire to a little bit less snowfall totals. So I'm looking at 8 to 14 inches, still a pretty healthy snowfall, especially considering that most forecasts were having 0. And then as we move further west, the precipitation shield is going to really start to cut down, 4 to 8 inches, and then 3 to 6 inches as we move towards central Pennsylvania around Harrisburg and Williamsport. So what we're dealing with here is clearly a very intense storm, but this also means we are also going to be dealing with very strong winds. Winds are going to be anywhere from 15 to 30 miles per hour sustained, gusting over 40 miles per hour. So that's going to create also some problems with low visibility and also significant snowdrift. So do not drive Monday morning if you do not have to. Sunday night, Monday morning, stay home, watch football, because there is no reason to be out in this storm if you don't have to be. Also, along the immediate coast, keep an eye out for coastal flooding, especially early Monday morning. There is going to be some significant problems with this water driving into the New Jersey coast and portions of Long Island, especially in the Battery, New York City. Keep an eye on that. So obviously we're dealing with a very intense snowstorm. Pretty interesting for after Christmas, huh? So that is the latest on this storm. As I get more data, I will continue to update. Live updates begin later on this evening, and we will track this storm through the day tomorrow. No normal updates tomorrow. We're just going to do live coverage throughout the entire storm starting at around 6 a.m. I'm meteorologist Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.